Last year I made over 400 grand with dropshipping, and in this video I'm going to show you how I market my product. I'm going to reveal my niche and how you should structure your ad group. So I'm going to show you how much I made every single month, then I'm going to talk about TikTok and Facebook, my niche, then how you should do the marketing, and then finding dropshipping videos / products, and then talk about supplier / website. So before we go into the juicy stuff, I'm going to talk about every single month and break down the cost, how much revenue I had, how much I spent on marketing, and then my cost, and then reveal the profit for each month. So I started the shop in January, and that's when I started creating the store, the website, but I didn't get any sales. But in February I got my first order and then just kept on scaling throughout the year. So then we're going to start with February, and I have placed something here so you can't see the stats, but I'm going to remove them. So in February, boom, 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 I sold for 7,000 Swedish kroner, and Swedish kroner, just to get it to dollars, you just divide it by 10. So about $700, but this equals about $750. And here you can see my TikTok, how much I spent on TikTok, and that equals to about $330. So we can start by getting this, make it a bit thinner, $750 minus $330. That's about through for $420, right? So $420. And to get my cost for the products, I just take it by 0.03, so 420, boom, boom, boom. I have my calculator here, is 126, so 126, 420 minus 126, let's get that, is about $294 in pure profit in my first month. And that was actually surprising because I wasn't expecting that for this store, but why not? Then comes March. So February went great. I had high profit right from the beginning, and I thought, okay, let's scale this fast and see what we can do. So in March, let's remove this. In March, I made 245,000 Swedish kroner, which is about $25,000. And I spent 73,000 kroner, which is about $7,500. So let's write that down. 25,000 minus $7,500. I'm going to use my calculator because I don't want to do the math and embarrass myself. So let's get this. It's $17,500. And 0.03 is $5,000 in product cost. So 17,500 minus 5,250, about $12,000 in pure profit. So my second month just went absolutely crazy, and I was super happy, of course, and I thought, holy shit, I should just scale this store to the moon, and that's basically what I did throughout the year. So then comes April. We're going to do this fast because I actually want to share a lot of knowledge, but I also want to give you guys some type of motivation and actually show that this is profitable to make money with. So then comes April. Remove this. Oh, remove this. And you can see I almost made the exact same amount in revenue, 262,000, and this was 245, but I spent more on TikTok. So 22,262, that's about, let's say, $26,000 just to make this easy. Minus 95, we can do this $10,000. And that equals, of course, $16,000. And times that, $16,000, boom, 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 is about $5,000. So that means $11,000 in profit. And that's also very good for my third month. And this, I just wanted to scale this as much as I could, but then came May, and you can see the revenue actually went down a bit. I had problems with my payouts from Shopify. They held my money for 90 days, I believe, and I couldn't scale as much, and I had some angry customers, and I had to scale down and make sure everyone is satisfied. I had some problems with my suppliers. But I still managed to do 173,000 in Swedish kroner, which is about $17,000. So let's write that down, $17,000. And I spent 53,000 kroner, which is about $5,500. And this equals, of course, $11,500, I guess, right? If my math is correct. And let's do this by getting the profits to you guys times 0.3, which equals 3,450. And 11,500 minus $8,000. So the profit came down a bit, but still super great for me, and I was super happy. And now you may ask, how can I have such a high profit? And I will get into that later with showing my niche, and then you guys will really understand on why I had so high profits. Then instead of showing every single month, I thought about let's combine a few of them so I don't waste too much of you guys' time. So in June, July, August, and September, I made about $45,000. This probably equals about $50,000. So let's write that down, $5,000, $50,000. And I spent about 92,000 kroner, which is about, let's say, $10,000. And now and that equals, of course, $40,000. And now you may ask, how could I do a revenue of almost $50,000 when spending $10,000 when I actually spent about $10,000 in April? And the reason for that is I did only TikTok, and in June, July, August, and September, I just focused on organic, or not only organic, but I used a lot of organic TikToks and I went viral. So that's how I was able to do pretty high revenue, but still having the cost of my ads pretty low. So in June, July, August, and September, I thought, okay, this is going great. Now it's Q4. I'm going to do as much money as I possibly could. And that's exactly what I did. So if we go to October, let's remove this. You can see I did about $419,000 in Swedish kroner, which is about, let's say, $45,000. Sorry guys, I don't have my Shopify dashboard in dollars. And I only spent 68,000 Swedish kroner, let's say about $7,000. And this is so great. Let's do this face snap, quick math, $38,000, right? I forgot to do the profit, which we'll also do that. So the thing with TikTok that is so great is that you can do paid marketing and just get a lot of visitors and proof of concept. And if your product is great, you can then just continue with organic content, and hopefully, and it should actually go viral sometimes. And that's exactly what happened to me. But in October, I thought, okay, in November, I'm going to do 1 million Swedish kroner, which is about $100,000. And to reach that goal, I also had to do Facebook marketing. So you can see I spent about $7,000 on TikTok here, but I also spent 12,000 Swedish kroner on Facebook, and that equals about $1,500. So 38 minus 1,500, it's $36,500. And then we once again get the calculator. $36,500, boom, 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 minus $10,000. So about $26,000 in pure profits. And then here you can see $40,000, boom, 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 0.3. Gosh, my calculator is not feeling good. Minus 12,000, and that equals $28,000. So a lot of profit. But then comes November, which is the best month I had. So let's remove all of this. And this is when I made over almost 1 million Swedish kroner, which equals to about, let's say, $125,000. And that's absolutely crazy. I spent a lot of money on TikTok. I did a lot of retargeting, and on Facebook I wanted to spend more, but I couldn't because the ad account was new and I had to go pretty slow on the budget, but I still managed to spend about 5 grand on Facebook, and actually let's get that to $6,000. And on TikTok I spent about $16,000. Let's do that to $20,000. So 6,026, so about $99,000. Absolutely crazy, but then I had a lot of cost here. I remember that. Let's do this, 29,000. And then I had a few other expenses I remember. Let's take about 10,000 too. And that is 40,000, let's say. So $99,000 minus 40 equals $59,000. And then comes December, which I had to scale down because of other reasons with my ad account and so on. And that month I made 271, which is about $28,000 minus $3,000 on Facebook and just $600 on TikTok. So let's do that to about $4,000 just to make this easy. And that equals $24,000. 24 minus $7,200. So 24, boom, boom, boom. 7,200. 24 minus 22, bam. Wait. $24,000 minus 7,200, $16,000 about. So a lot of profit throughout the year and super happy with this store, but what is my niche and how could I have such a high profit margin? And that is, let me present to you guys my niche. Personalized. If you have seen any of my other YouTube videos, I just talk about personalized. And that's because I love personalized stuff. You can price it at higher. So instead of selling a cheap product, let's say you do a t-shirt with Nike here and it costs about $40. If you do it personalized, you can sell it for $80. And people appreciate it more. You get more 5-star reviews because people actually appreciate the product, and you can do basically drop servicing. So instead of sending anything, you just send them an email or a file. So for example, if you see this custom portrait from Photo, you can see this is a very cute image here. And then you can just find a designer on Fiverr doing each character for, let's say, $3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, $15, and you can easily charge about, let's say, $20 per character. So 20, 40, 80, 20, 40, 60, 80, $100. And that equals to $85 profit in just $15 product cost. And you don't have shipping, you don't need tracking numbers, you don't need this or that. And that's how I was able to have such a high profit margin. But I'm not going to reveal exactly what I'm selling. And this is not exactly what I'm selling, but I just wanted to demonstrate the point so you get what I meant. So that is my niche. Then we can go to TikTok and Facebook and talk about TikTok and how you should market. So in TikTok, you should have really good hooks. And how can you get good hooks? You can, for the first, ask ChatGPT. You can search on TikTok the best hooks for this or that. And you can just find inspiration videos on TikTok. And if you have a good hook, you have a good chance of going viral. And with viral, you also, if you have a good hook, you can go viral, but you also need something else that I have wrote down here, which is trending. So if you see a trend going on right now, you should try to capitalize at that trend and do something related to it, and you have a much higher chance of going viral. And what also works really great on TikTok, especially for my brand, is answering comments with the product. So let's say you sell I don't know, anything, and then a customer asks, is this that? Then you answer it with a comment. Because people love watching other TikTok videos when people/company answer comments. And the thing with my niche and my store is that I'm in the gifting niche, because if we go back to this product, this you usually give it as a gift, and that is both a pro and a con, because people can find your product in, let's say, January, but their husband or wife celebrate their birthday in May, and that is a really bad thing. So if you have trending sounds, you have good hooks, and you answer comments, you can get a lot of views organic. So that's exactly what I did in June, July, August, and September. Also, what is super good is if you can do something with your voice. If you want, you can talk in your TikTok videos, and people really like to hear a real person behind the brand, even if it's dropshipping. Then I wrote down niche and just try to get your niche right and actually know who your customer is. Is it women? Is it men? Is it older people, younger people? Is it focused on America or Europe? And with Facebook, I just kept it very simply. Copy, new targeting. So basically, what I did, everything that went well on TikTok, I just took it to Facebook and just copied it, basically. And here I actually wrote no targeting. With Facebook, I didn't do any targeting. And actually, I didn't do any targeting with TikTok either. So I totally recommend, when doing the marketing, don't do any targeting. Just let Facebook get all the data and find your customers for you. If we then go to marketing 101, so here you can see I wrote down campaign, ad group, ad. So if you want to get success with dropshipping or success with your brand, if you make the items yourself, this is the way to do it, okay? You need a lot of creatives. And what is creative? Creative is one type of video. So if I'm going to show this microphone here, I can do a video front of it, talking about the style of it. Then I can do a video showing the different type of buttons. Then I can do a video talking about the stand. Then I can do a video talking about how the sound sounds, and so on. And that is a creative. So when you create a new campaign, you create one campaign, let's say, mic campaign. Then you go to ad group. Who is this going to show for? But I forgot to say, in the campaign, you choose your conversion as a goal. You want to get orders, not add to carts, not calls or anything like that. So you choose conversions. When you are in the ad group, you create a different type of ads. So I create one ad group for, let's say, Sweden. I create, so Sweden, let's say, women. Then I create one ad group, Sweden, men. Then I create one ad group, Norway, women. It's really hard writing here. And one Norway, men. So here you have different type of ad group, and an ad group is basically who do you want to target. And I said I didn't do any targeting, but you still have to choose if you want to target what country and what, like, men or girls. So here you can see the first ad group is Sweden men. This is Sweden women, Sweden men, Norway women, Norway men. Then in that ad group point, you come down to the ad. So here is the first video showcasing the mic. So this is the mic. You can do anything you want here. So it could be a video, it could be a post saying best quality, good sound, this. You just get them bullet points on why they should buy the mic. Then the second ad could be showcasing the sound, for example. Then the third video could be talking about the stand, about the buttons, talking about the mic. And the fourth video could be anything else. So you want to do that with every single ad group. So in Sweden women, you have 4 ads. Then in Sweden men, you could do the same ad or anything different because it's focused on men. Then you do it same for Norway and same for Norway men. And you can also, so for example in Sweden, you could do Swedish ads. So let's say you do a voiceover talking in Swedish, and in Norway you find someone on Fiverr talking in Norwegian. And that is how you get your campaign to actually work. And if you don't get orders doing this, it usually means 1, you have a bad website, 2, you have a bad offer, 3, your ads suck, 4, everything sucks. So that is how you should do the marketing, and explained very easily. I will do more videos going in depth and actually show how I create my campaign, my ad group and the ad structure, and what you should actually choose for targeting and so on. But before you actually do the marketing, you need to find dropshipping videos / products. So how do you find dropshipping products to dropship? So the first method here, number 1, is you can create a TikTok account. I'm going to draw a little phone here. Let's see. Boing. So this is TikTok. You scroll here. You get TikTok. You create a new account. New account. I hope you guys can read this. And once you get a new account, you go to the search bar. Search bar. Search. And in the search bar, you write dropshipping. Dropshipping. Or you can write also dropshipping products. So you write that, then you click on the first video result. So there will be different type of videos. Then you click on one video. And once you have clicked on that video and watched through it, liked it, saved it, then you go, you remove TikTok from your phone, not delete the app, you just swipe it up to restart the app. Then you restart the app, then your feed should show more products, then you like them, comment, save them, and then your feed should just be dropshipping products. And that is how you find products. And that is the first method, and I really recommend it. The second one is tools. Different kind of tools, you need to buy them and they could work. I don't really recommend it. You can just do the TikTok method, but if you really want, you can try tools. And then third, you could go into Facebook library, you can go into TikTok library and just see what ad is performing, find their product, search it on AliExpress and so on, but that's really boring. Then you have supplier / website. What I love about dropshipping is actually creating the website. For some reason, I just love creating the websites, and having a really good website will of course help you with the conversion rate. So make sure you have a lot of trust badges. Trust. You have a good offer. You have good policies. Shipping is what I thought about. And just overall a clean website. You remove the powered by Shopify, you have a good theme, or you use a custom theme. You can use the Beautify, you can buy a theme if you're really serious and if you have already success with it. But just make sure that your website is actually good looking and looks trustworthy, because a lot of customers are really smart in these days and you have to be smarter than them and actually outperform them. So then you first find your product, and after you find your product, you find your supplier before going to the website step. So when you find your supplier, or when you find your product, you find a supplier. And how do you find a supplier? First, you can do a Google image search if you just want to see what other website has the image, and there you can find your supplier. It will probably show the AliExpress listing if you do a Google image search. But you can do AliExpress. You can do CJ dropshipping. You can do SendDrop. You can do Agent. You can even do Amazon, but that is just a meme. But you can choose anyone from these. I recommend starting with AliExpress when you're brand new, and once you have success with it, you get an agent in China that buys products for you and store them in their warehouse, and then they actually ship out much faster and they offer better pricing and faster shipping. So that is how you should do it, and that's basically how I was able to do $402,000 in my first year with this brand. So find a good product using the method I told about here. Once you have found the product, you find the supplier, AliExpress or anything else. Once you have the supplier, you create a website, make it look trustworthy, have a good offer shipping policies and so on. And after you have a good website, you go back to my marketing 101. You do the campaign, you create an ad group, different kind of ad groups, then ads. And once you do this, you should get some success with it. You should get orders. And after you get the orders, you start making money. Then you do TikToks, then you do Facebook, and then you have made $400,000 and hopefully even more than that. So that's everything about this video, and I will do more videos in the future just talking like this and actually showcase the full process of creating an ad campaign and how to create a website. I'm going to get a webcam here and just do a like 5-6 hours video showcasing on how I build really good dropshipping websites. With that being said, thank you for watching, subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next one.